Hi, hello, and welcome to episode 52 of the Whips and Whimsy podcast. My name is Zenith. My pronouns are they, them. I am so happy you are joining me here today. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about all the things I have been knitting and crafting on lately, what I've been reading, what I've been watching, how life is going. If that sounds interesting to you, go ahead, grab a drink, grab a snack, grab a craft. Let's spend some time hanging out together. Today is Saturday, May 30th. It is almost June and it sure does not feel like it. Today I think the high is like 55 degrees or something, and it has been storming pretty heavily since 2 in the morning. And it's not supposed to stop until around 4 p.m. here where I live in New England, north of Boston. So that's fun. That is what it is, I guess. Yeah, lots of rain. If you hear rain clicking on the windows or if you hear a noise, that's what that is. Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get into it. I'm looking down at my handy dandy notes. We have a whole lot to show today. First of all, we have a very long pig parade. I'm very excited about it. I have 1 finished object, 2 works in progress. I have some yarn and notions acquired. I want to talk about my June schedule because June is going to be a little wonky, so I just kind of want to give you guys a heads up of what's happening and why things might look a little bit crazy in the next couple episodes. I also have things I've been watching. Spoiler, I watched the new Mandalorian movie. I finished a book, so we'll talk a little bit about reading, but I don't have a whole lot to share, so I won't be flipping the screen or anything fancy. I'm just going to mention what I finished. And then finally, I have a fitness update, which I am really excited about. I haven't done a fitness update in a long time, but I hit a couple different milestones this week that I'm really, really excited about, so I'm going to talk about that at the end as well. That'll be kind of my life update. So yeah, let's hop on into it. The first thing I want to show you is my pigs. And I'm going to explain what happened as I show you these one by one. A lot of these are scrap yarns. I'm going to have to refill the scraps that are in my little bin that I use for tiny pigs. What happened is I downloaded an app called Finch. I love it. It's great. It's basically like, imagine if you had a Tamagotchi on your phone that was linked to your to-do list. And that's Finch. I think you're supposed to use it just for like self-care and mental health. I use it just to do my goals for the day. So one of the goals I set with one of my friends, my friend Delia, shout out to Delia, who is incredible. Actually, these two are twins. I set a goal to knit something whimsical every day. I said it a couple weeks ago, actually, but the thing is, last week I was knitting like neon rainbow socks, and that counted as something whimsical and something that I worked on every day. So I was just checking off, and then when I got to Friday, I just made some tiny pigs and was like, here's some tiny pigs for the pig parade. This week, I don't believe that my socks count as whimsical, so to hit that goal, I just knit a tiny pig every day. They take about half an hour to make, because I've made so many of them. They used to take me longer. They used to take like 45 minutes. Now they take closer to 30. So I would just knit a tiny pig. Hit that off my list. Give my little bird some points. You raise a tiny bird. It's, oh my god, it's such a cute little app. Yeah, so that is why there is more. That's why there will continue probably being more as we move along. But yeah, those are my piggies. Let me see if I can pick them all up. We'll see how this goes. I have 3. So many pigs. Those will just go into the jar. The other reason I'm not mad about having so many pigs is I watched, oh gosh, I can't remember her name, but I watched a YouTube content creator, a knitter, and she knit her entire Ren Fair outfit. But one of the other things she does when she goes to the Ren Fair is she gives out trinkets. And I was thinking about it. I think I might have been knitting one of my pigs while I was watching, which helped. But I was thinking about it and I was like, I could take a tiny little pig like this. I could get a little cord. I could just loop it through the stitches at the top so that this hangs at the bottom of the cord. Put some beads on it and then like tie it off as another loop so that it can still be attached to things. And then I can just trade piggy trinkets at the Ren Fair when we have our fair in the fall. And that made me really excited. So I think I want a larger stockpile of pigs so I can make Ren Fair trinkets with them and be the pig lady. So yeah, I'm going to start stockpiling them. My jar is getting a little bit full. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. I don't think you can. There's a jar slightly off screen. But it's okay because I have an empty Christmas cookie jar somewhere behind here. And I will fill that with pigs when the jar gets full, and then we'll just keep on going. So I'm excited to be rebuilding my tiny pig army. I just realized I forgot to say in the intro what I am hydrating with today. Hydration is an important part of all of my Whips and Whimsy episodes, I feel like. First of all, I have water with strawberry lemonade powder in it. I also have some tea. This is the lemon lift flavor. I've not actually started drinking it yet. I just didn't brew it all the way to the top, so it looks like I had some. But I think it's still a little bit too hot to drink. Let's find out together. Oh, that's actually perfect. Lemon Lift, fun fact, is one of my favorite Bigelow flavors. I used to get it. They used to give it out for free at work. Like, you could like brew your own tea in the cafeteria and it was free. And I used to drink it every morning for a while, for about a year or so. And then I stopped. Because I'm very sensitive to caffeine is what it is. But yeah, anyway, back into the grind. So we have a finished object. I'm very excited about these. I made tall socks. I'm so excited. These make me super happy. These are for me. The main color is a Chemnitz color from 2023 that didn't have a name. The two striped colors, the lower one, the brown one, is Treasure. The other one is Key Lime Heather, which is my favorite color ever from Stroll. And yeah, I did a different heel construction than I ever have before with these socks. I have been knitting through The Sock Project by Summer Lee, and every month I just roll a little spinner and it tells me which one that I should make. So I made these. This is basic sock number 5. It is a Flegel heel, which is basically how it's how a cuff down heel is constructed but reversed. And I like it. It fits really well. The sizing was a little bit annoying, mostly because I knit so many toed or cuff down socks that, like, and I also do so much gift knitting that I keep an Excel spreadsheet of like my friends, their shoe sizes. And then I also have a row where I've just converted the shoe size into like, here's how many rounds I need to do before the toe. And this works for me for like every shoe size. So like even if I've never made socks for someone before, if they tell me their shoe size, I can pretty confidently do it because I've probably already knit a sock in that shoe size and I know how many rounds to do. And the problem with doing a Flegel heel is that I'm counting from a different position or like from a different starting point, and I'm not sure I'm doing it right. And the way that the pattern was written was basically like try the sock on and start the heel when you're at this point on your foot. And I'm like, that's not helpful for me because probably 70% of the socks I knit at this point are gifts for other people. I finish a pair of socks every week. I don't need to own hundreds of pairs of socks. Like, there's only so many days in winter that I can wear them. Also, I'm from Florida. If I'm like going back to Florida, I don't need these. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, so I will probably make them again, but it's not going to be my go-to pattern. It's probably going to be something where if I want to specifically use up all of the yarn, or if I want to make tall socks without running out of yarn, I will use a Flegel heel, but in general, I don't think that's going to be my go-to. I think my go-to is still going to be cuff down. And I was missing cuff down. The other thing is, I feel like when I cast off any of my toe-up socks, the ribbing kind of flares at the top, and that annoys the crap out of me. I don't like that. So, yeah. Yeah, I will say the yarns, all three of the yarns are super, super soft, and I'm really excited to wear these. And I'm excited to have tall socks. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the Fleegle heel. I did knit, I think it was the size medium. I picked the one that had 56 stitches listed for the width of the leg, and the yes, the foot. Sorry, I just forgot what words meant just now. Yeah, but 56 stitches is my go-to. I use size 1.5 flexi flip needle set. And that's, I think, all I have to say about these. The next thing I want to talk about is my next donation blanket. I got a lot of work done on this. There's a lot happening. Whereas, let's see if we can find the stitch markers. So here's where we were. We were here. And now we are, oh my god, stop. We were here, now we're here. So, and you'll notice there's a stitch marker right here. What happened is I had a D&D one-shot on Sunday that was supposed to take about 4 hours. Usually I would take my Northeasterly with me, but I hadn't cast on the 4th strip yet. And I didn't want to do that during the start of a D&D one-shot where, like, I needed to pay attention to figure out, like what the world was, what the premise was, like, the starter details. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to bring, like, straight stockinette knitting. It's going to be really easy. So I did. I regret it a little bit because I ended up, there wasn't a whole lot of room at the table. So I ended up eating on top of my blanket. We had Sloppy Joes. And I thought I was doing a great job of keeping everything on the plate and not on the blanket. And then when I was done, I, like, took my plate to the kitchen. I came back and my dirty fork was sitting on the blanket. So now it has Sloppy Joe stains, which, like, really just hurts my soul because I don't think I've ever done something like that before. Like, I don't dirty my knitting like that. So, and I can't wash it till it's off the needles. And I also think I threw out my Tide pen. I can't find it anywhere anyway. So yeah, that happened. Actually, now that I say this, I think my Tide pen might be in my car. I should check that. It might also be dried up and old. Anyway, so I got a lot of work done on this. Part of it also is that I am under no pretenses here that I am going to finish the 12 blankets this year that I planned to make. I don't think that's going to happen. It's going to happen sometime in 2027. We're halfway through the year. I have 1 blanket completed out of 12. Technically 2 if we count the one that I gave to our house organizer. But this is, yeah, but I like, also in my head I'm like, I'm behind and I need to catch up, so I'm trying to spend, like, extra time on my blankets just so, like, I can just get, like, more on path to where I'm supposed to be, even while recognizing that, like, I'm not gonna hit the goal that I set out to do at the beginning of the year, and that's fine. I'm sorry to be cutting so much. My lungs do not like that it is raining today, and I'm doing my best, but oh my god. I feel like you can also hear it in my voice. Like, I'm just like, ugh, I feel gross today. Anyway, I'm using the color Clarity from Knit Picks Brava. It's just a basic worsted weight acrylic. And I'm just making it corner to corner with an I-cord edge. And I have this much left in the second ball. I have 5 balls total, so I will finish this one off. I will do a couple more rows in the third ball, and then I'll start decreasing either side, and I think that's gonna be pretty chill. So yeah, that's my blanket for the week. And then our next finished object, I bet you can guess what it is. In our summer sock camp bag, I have a new pair of socks that I ended up casting on yesterday. I love that I said a couple weeks ago that I was going to move away from casting on socks every Friday and just cast on a sock when I finished a pair of socks. And so far that has very strongly meant that I'm still casting on a pair of socks every Friday, because that's just how the cookie's crumbling right now. So Anyway, I'm using leftover yarn from a pair of socks I knit last year, and the yarn has just been sitting there. So this is, I don't remember the exact colorway. I know this is from Blue Barn Fiber, and I know it's one of her mermaid colorways. It might be Mermaid Kisses, or Mermaid Lips, or Mermaid Fingers, Mermaid something. And I'm obsessed with it. I'm just at the point where I need to start the heel. The problem is I cannot figure out what color to make the heel. I have 4 different options and I need to decide them because I'm going to be doing that heel today, but I can't decide. This is the first option. This is Knit Picks Pucker. My problem is I'm worried that this is going to be too girly of a color. I am making this for someone who is like trans masc, non-binary, but also just like very trans masc. And I don't want it to be too girly. I want it to be like gay, but not like girly girl. And I'm worried that this is going to pop it into girly girl over just like whimsical and queer. So I also have Stroll. No, yes, this is Stroll. This is Blue Sky. I think this might tone it down and look good, but I'm also worried that the blues are actually going to clash a little bit because this one has some more like yellowy tones to make like some teals, and this one is very much like a blue. So I'm not sure. I also have a scrap of, stop it. This is also Blue Barn Fiber. This is the color Raven. And it's a dark navy, dark green, and like a plummy purple mix variegation. And I think this one might tone it down and also be a nice contrast. Actually, now that I'm holding them up, I'm like, I don't think I love that. And then the last one I have, I don't want to do this one mostly because I would have to wind it, and I don't feel like getting my ball winder out right now. But I do have this blue, this electric blue from ALC Yarns that I think would pair really well with the colors in this. But I don't really want to get out my ball winder. And this is Surround Me in Seafoam. I've had this for a couple years. So I think now that I've shown them all, I think I am going to go ahead and go with Sky Blue and just kind of hope that it's not clashing. I think it's going to be okay. But yeah, that is my sock for the week. I'm going to see how much I get done. I may not actually have these done by next week. Also, I haven't set this yet. I'm still doing my vanilla pattern, which is I did 10 rounds of 2x2 ribbing for the cuff. I did 30 rounds for the leg. These are a size wide, so they are 60 stitches. Usually I do 56 stitches. I use a size 1.5 flexi flip. I just do, from here on, I'm just going to do a regular slip stitch heel, however many rounds I need for the foot, and a square toe. So yeah, that's that. I'm glad that I picked that yarn color. I was like going crazy yesterday. I went through all of my yarn bins, which I don't usually do, because usually it's very simple. I just grab a stroll color and like go, or I grab like a leftover color and just work with it. And for whatever reason, I was just like so thrown off. Also, just picking the color to use at all. Like, I thought I had picked a good color in the first place, and then I pulled the yarn and I was like, this yarn doesn't match this person at all. Like, why did I grab this? And then was just kind of scrambling, trying to figure out like what yarn to use and like all the things. And it was a whole thing. So yeah. Anyway, that brings us into acquisitions. And I put in an order from 3 by the Sea Designs. Most of my stitch markers come from 3 by the Sea Designs because sometimes they put their summer stuff on sale. And I really love beachy nautical stuff. I am from Florida. And even though I don't live there now, I'm like, you can take me out of Florida, but like, I'm gonna throw down for like flamingos. So also they're a Florida-based company, so like, you know. Anyway, so I ended up putting in 2 orders, but I'm gonna show them as one. The first thing is they sent me a freebie of Bigelow Lemon Lift. That is the tea I'm drinking. And they also put some pink stitch markers with it, which is kind of cute. So I have that. I did buy one mini skein pack, and I have 3 separate plans for these mini skeins, so do not panic. This is the Malibu Dreams, and you can see why I picked it. It's neon and vibrant, and I'm obsessed with it. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find a little, like, either a doodle deck or I might even just freehand the pattern, but I'm gonna figure out how to get a little chart to make knit hearts in a sequence. And I know that the Crazy Sock Lady just released a pattern, but like for whatever reason, I don't want to buy a whole pattern and then like just use like the part of the pattern that's like the smaller sized hearts. Like I don't see, if I was going to use the whole pattern, that's the one thing, but like I would just be using that one section. I'm like, that's kind of silly. So anyway, I'm gonna find a little chart for hearts, and then I'm gonna do rainbow hearts, like one row of each, and then just like a regular barefoot. And then when that's done, because it's only gonna be like 3 rows, what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is like 1 stitch for the top of the heart, so it'll be like color stitch, blank stitch, color stitch, and then like 1 empty stitch on either side. And the second row will be like 3 stitches to combine them, and then the third row will just be like 1 stitch in the middle, and it's gonna look like a heart, or it'll look like a V. Maybe I'll swatch it. Maybe. That's a big ask. Anyway, I'm gonna do that. It's not gonna take that much yarn because it's gonna be like 3 rows, right? And then I'm gonna take the leftovers. I'm gonna knit a tiny pig out of each one. Tiny pigs take like 3 grams of yarn. I will still have leftovers, and then from there I'm going to take the leftovers, and I will probably weigh them to see how much I have, and I will either do stripy socks out of them. I saw I think it's the Knit Therapy channel made a pair of socks where she did like extra long cuffs, and those are striping, and then the rest of the foot is just like a variegated color. Like the whole rest of the sock is just like basically a solid or variegated color, but like the cuffs are self-striping. And so that might be good with the leftovers, or I might just do it for a hat and just have like a main color for the cuff and the crown, and then put these for like the main portion of the body. And probably give those to my brother because he would wear the crap out of that. Anyway, I have plans. I'm not going to be able to get to these for a couple weeks. We're going to talk about June plans here in a second. But when I am done with the meat and potatoes of everything that's going to happen in June, I will be able to actually focus on these. And also, I've never done stranded color work in a pair of socks before. I've done like mosaic, but I've never done just like standard color work. So that'll be really exciting. That'll give me bonus points in one of my knit-alongs for the summer, so excited about that. Anyway, the main thing that 3 by the Sea Designs sells is crap loads of stitch stoppers and progress keepers. So I got these stitch stoppers. They are flamingos. I'm very excited. These are going to go on my baby blanket because right now I don't use stitch stoppers on them, and I should. And then the rest of these are just stitch markers. So in no particular order, I got a seashell. I got a flamingo. Very excited about the flamingo. I got a little like strawberry lemonade Minnie Mouse because I have been very Disney obsessed lately. The problem is I've started watching Disney World vlogs before I go to bed at night. And now my soul is owned by the mouse. So here's a recommendation. Don't do that. The rabbit hole is very deep. And then anyway, the last one I got this little lavender rubber ducky. And I'm very excited about it. So those are my acquisitions. I want to say that I'm done buying yarn, but I'm actually not. I have an order put in with Craftily Dyed Yarns for some 50 gram skeins, which makes me really happy that they're 50 grams. I've been looking at some stuff, and one of the fun things you can do on Etsy is like if you're not sure you want to buy something, you can favorite it, and then a pretty good amount of the time you end up getting a coupon for it. But I also I think I put some stuff in my cart and then just like left it there. And then I got like a coupon sent to me for like, I think it was like $10 off or something. And so I ended up getting a pretty good deal on the yarn. So I ordered some more yarn that I don't necessarily have a place for, but it's fine because after June calms down, I'm going to be able to make so many socks. I keep telling myself this. I'm like, so many socks are in my future. We're getting there. Anyway, I feel like that's enough lead up. So let me hydrate really fast. You can hydrate with me if you have a beverage. And then we will get into what the heck is going to happen in June and why. But first, tea. So here's what happened. Here's what happened. I am in school this year. And at first I didn't know what my summer schedule was going to be. And then I found out that when my classes ended in the spring, I would be free until my summer class starts mid-July. But at first it didn't, first of all, I had my dates confused about when the May semester ended. So I thought that the spring semester, I don't know why I'm calling it the May semester. I thought my spring semester was going to end like the last week of May. Like in my head, like my final day of classes was going to be like May 29th. And that obviously has not been the case. And I also like just didn't want to schedule anything the week of 4th of July because I just figured like things were going to be wonky and weird and I didn't want to mess around with it. So when people asked me about making plans for the summer, I told everybody like my June is completely free. And so that is how I scheduled all of my summer adventures. Every single one of them is scheduled for the month of June. So, and it's a lot because I have a lot of friends and like a lot of things that are happening. And so for the month of June, just so like everybody's on the same page, because like I am a very like strict routine, I love a good schedule kind of person. And I do a lot of my knitting kind of like on a standard schedule where like, you know, I spend an hour a day knitting a blanket. I spend half an hour a day making a tiny pig. I spend the rest of my knitting day working on socks. I usually cast on a new pair every Friday. And this is very just kind of like, you know, set in my ways. And well, next week I'm going on day trips basically every day next week. So including like to theme parks and stuff like that. So like I'm not going to be knitting. And then the week after that, I am going on a beach vacation, like out of state. I will give more information about that when I am back, but just like for basic internet safety, I'm just a beach vacation somewhere not here. And which I'm very excited about. And I can't wait to tell you guys about it. And then the week after that, things will be somewhat normal. But then the week after that, so basically like it's like 6 days after I get back, I have people coming into town to spend time with me for another week. So I, especially for this upcoming week and the week after, like, who knows? I have no idea what I'm going to get done, what I'm not going to get done. I wear knitting braces. I wear like wrist braces as I'm knitting. And so it's very like, it gets very hot very quickly if I try to knit when it is like 80 degrees or above. So if I am at the beach and it is in the 70s, I might just climb into my little sun tent and knit all day while I'm like listening to the waves. Like that's very much my vibe. But if it is 81 degrees outside, I will not be doing that. I will be marathon reading for 2 days at the beach, which makes packing kind of fun. I am already trying to figure out how I'm supposed to pack for my trip. So anyway, because that's going to be like a week. It's going to be like, well, it's not a full week. It's like 4 days or something, but it's going to be like a significant amount of time that I normally would spend knitting all of the things. So there's that. And then, yeah, I just, who knows? Like the blanket's not going to get worked on when I'm out of state. I'm not going to pack that with me just to like knit it in the hotel room. Like that would be very strange. But I also, Sorry, I forgot where that sentence was going. Yeah, we're gonna see what the knitting looks like. I will say I should be back at home both weeks on Saturday. So I should still be able to post every Saturday. Unless I truly got no knitting done and I have absolutely nothing to show you. That's the only like scenario I can think of for why I would be like, sorry, there's nothing for ya. You know, but otherwise I should still be able to post. Yeah, I'm gonna focus. My focus is gonna be on socks. I also need to finish the hat that I've been taking to the movies every week. I need to finish that. That is a gift for someone for June, and it needs to be done within the next like couple weeks. So I also need to work on that. That is going to be easier for me to take with me until I get to the crown. I'm not quite to the crown yet, so I will probably try to finish that next week because I can take it with me on some of my day trips, work on it during the kind of like the doldrums. I am the kind of person who takes my knitting with me everywhere I go. So that makes life easy. But yeah, I can try to work on it until I get to the crown and then just come home and like finish the crown using the other needles that I have, and it should not be a huge deal. Yeah, and then I'll just cast on a new hat brim and it'll be fine. Anyway, that brings us into the fitness update, which I am like so excited to tell you guys about. Oh my god. I want to first do a recap just so like no matter how long you've been following me, we're all on the same page about what has been happening with me health-wise. So we're going to rewind the clock back a full year. So in April 2025, my gym held like an 8-week transformation challenge thing, and I signed up for it. It had like in-body scans which tell you like it doesn't really do your BMI. I mean, it does do your BMI, but like that's not a real measurement of anything. But it measures like how hydrated you are, how much of your body composition is fat, how much of your body composition is muscle, what kind of muscle it is, blah blah blah. It's very cool. So it was like every 2 weeks you got an in-body scan. You got like weekly exercise classes, like HIIT style exercise classes. You got a nutrition plan. You got personal training sessions. It was a whole lot of stuff for the price. And also the person who won for each category won $250, and it was only $200 to sign up. So I took it very seriously because I am an incredibly competitive person, which is why I don't usually compete in things, because I don't have a good time unless I'm winning, and that's not fun for anyone, including me. Anyway, I did this. I was like, yeah, it'll be fun. Also, at the time, I was walking like 20,000 steps a day at my work, so like a whole lot was going on. Anyway, I was going to the gym 7 days a week and was like in the best shape of my life and was like hitting new personal records, including a 125-pound deadlift, which was wild. And then I won. So literally like this week last year was when I hit the 125-pound deadlift after going to the gym 7 days a week for like 2 months, 2 or 3 months. And then I think my roommate just got home, so ignore any noises that you may or may not hear. Or maybe that was the cat. I don't know. Anyway, this week last year, 125-pound deadlift. The week after this, I started coughing like crazy and having a bunch of respiratory problems, and I was like, I'm fine, it's just pollen, it's just allergies, I'm an allergic kind of person, that's my personality. And the week after that, I was diagnosed with pneumonia, and I was sick for an entire month. I got well enough to return to work, and it was still really bad. And I had to get intermittent medical leave. I had already gotten medical leave to be out of work for a full month because I could not work. Like I could not breathe. I was like in and out of the hospital, like at the ER. It was bad, in and out of urgent care. And then I returned to work, could not really keep up, was doing my very best. And then I ended up getting intermittent medical leave. By the time it hit September, I had pneumonia again. So I was out of work for a second month, but like not consecutively. And then when I recovered from pneumonia, I was back at work for like, I want to say 3 days. And then I came down with bronchitis. And then I was out of work for like I ended up being out of work for a month again. And then, so I basically just didn't work at all for like the month of October. It was like I was too sick to go to work. And then I got better, but it was like better. So then I started seeing an allergy specialist, and I was on some like really, really strong inhalers, and they weren't really working. And I was just kind of holding on. And then it got to December, and finally my allergy specialist was like, have you considered allergy shots? I think you should do allergy shots. They are a weekly commitment. And I was like, I don't really know about that. But then my job moved across state lines, which meant that I would qualify for unemployment if I left my job. And I did not want to start commuting like an hour each direction. And so also I was going back to school. So I cut ways with my work and decided to be unemployed, which meant that I got the Massachusetts health insurance, which is incredible. And that means my allergy shots are free. So, and I have like a million years of time on my hand because like I'm not working. I can do whatever I want during the day. So then I started getting allergy shots. They started in either late January, early February. No, it must have been February because I did not leave my job until the end of January. Anyway, I started getting allergy shots in February. My asthma, oh yeah, this whole process gave me asthma, like permanent. I just have asthma now for the rest of my life. And that's nice. Like I have like permanent lung damage from how sick I was. I got so many chest x-rays that at one point the x-ray tech at the local hospital where like the x-ray machine is was just like, you need to, like, you can't have another one of these. It's like too much radiation for your lungs. And I was like, okay. This was after I got the last one that I needed, thankfully. But like, yeah, they were like, you have to stop getting chest x-rays. And I'm like, well, I would like to breathe. Like, I would like to know why my lungs are like this. Anyway, sometimes you just wake up and your body decides it tries to kill you. Like, that's just a thing that happens to you. So anyway, all of this to say, I was very humbled in the presence of the Lord. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I won the fitness challenge. And literally the day after they announced it was the day I found out that I also had pneumonia. Because there was like a gap between like when the final cutoff day was and like when they had analyzed the data and decided who won. There was a different contender that, in my opinion, I think she should have won because she lost 16 pounds in 8 weeks, and that's insane. However, her goal had been to gain muscle, and she had not gained muscle because she had lost weight. One of the things that happens when you lose weight, this is such a tangent, but one of the things that happens when you lose weight is like you're also going to lose some muscle mass. What I had successfully done body recomposition, which is when you increase your muscle and you decrease your fat. So I actually gained weight. I gained like 4 or 5 pounds in this process. However, I put on 8 pounds of muscle and I lost like 2% of my body fat. It was either 2 or 4% of like my total body fat was like lost in an 8-week thing. And I gained 8 pounds of muscle in 8 weeks. And then my body was like, we're done. We're donezo. Which is the thing that happens. And of course, I still have a lingering cough. I am still very phlegmy. The allergy shots have kicked my butt. If you've watched me for any amount of time, if you've watched this episode, and if you've seen me cut the video, that's because I was either coughing or like dealing with mucus in my nasal passages or just something. Like, I'm gross. I'm just in a gross personality state now. It sucks. Anyway, so I'm at a point where I can go back to the gym. So I have been going back to the gym. I have a personal trainer that I have been using. And like we meet once a week. We do our thing. I have avoided doing strong, like max effort workouts because I have had it in my head that the reason that my body just fully flipped out last year is because I was putting too much stress on it by working out 7 days a week and by powerlifting and doing all these different things. So I was like, I don't really want to do that again. So I've been doing power lifts, but I've been doing very like low weights for me. So again, like my PR for deadlift is 125. I've been doing like 45 to 55 pound deadlifts. Right. So like it's not nothing, but like it's not like training. It's just kind of like I'm moving some weight around. So anyway, this is the longest tangent. Lock in with me. We're almost done. Anyway, so I went to the gym yesterday and I asked my trainer if we could do deadlifts. And I have never actually done deadlifts with this trainer before, so he was not sure what to do. And so he puts like, 65 on the bar, which is like considered like the bare minimum if you're going to use a bar, because you need the 10-pound spacer plates to get the levels, the heights correctly for like what you need for the best ergonomic lift. And so I go to do it. He's like, oh my God, your form is like absolutely perfect. He was like shook. I was like, yes. Have I never told you deadlift is my favorite power lift? Like, that's my favorite. I love deadlifts. I could deadlift all day. I was having a blast. And so then he's like, I'm going to put some more weight on. I'm like, let's go. And the more weight he puts on, the more I'm like, oh, this is actually easier than doing the 65 pounds. Wild. And then he keeps going up. He's like, what's your PR? And I'm like, I would have to look it up. So I look it up. I'm like, yeah, it's 125. And so he puts on like, I think it was like 105. I was like, oh, this is easy. And I look at him and I'm like, can we do this FAFO style? And he was like, of course. He's like, absolutely. And I'm like, can we just throw a full plate on either side and just see what happens? Like, let's just see. And he's like, okay. So we put a plate on either side. Each plate is 45 pounds. So it's 135 pounds total. This is above my PR from last year when I'd been working out 7 days a week to get to that point. And I was like, let's just see. And he's like, I want to see you do 1 rep. And I was like, okay. So I did 3 reps. And I was like, we can keep going. But the problem was I told him that I planned to go on a run tomorrow, which is today. And he was like, you told me you're going on a run tomorrow. We're not doing that. And so he like took the plates away from me. And I was like, how dare you? Rude. And he's like, the next time you work out, which is not going to be for 3 weeks, because I'm doing stuff the next 2 weeks. I'm not going to be going to the gym. And he was like, the next time you come in, he's like, don't plan a run for the day after, and we'll see what you can do. And I'm like, okay, all right. So, but anyway, 135 was a goal for me. And actually, before I got sick, the goal I was working towards was like a 1 plate per side lift, because I've never lifted with like the full 45 plate on for anything before. That's a lot of weight, for me anyway, because I'm not like the most fit person historically. Like, I go through periods where I'm like, oh, I'm really fit right now, and then I just kind of like la-di-da, like don't work out for a while anyway, or I get really sick. So that was crazy. I was like flipping out. I was like, I can't believe that I just hit like something that has been a goal for me for so long, like basically without even trying it. Like, it wasn't that difficult and I could have kept going. And like, I think he thought I was like lying to him, that I was like, we could go up, like we could keep going. I could rep this. But like today, the day after, I expected to be very sore today, and I am a very normal expected amount of sore. Like, I'm less sore than I expected, rather. So that's insane. Apparently I'm a beast again. I didn't even know. The other thing is, I mentioned that I plan to go on a run today. I'm hoping I still get to. It is going to rain till about 4. I'm hoping I get to run after about 4. What happened was, I've been going on daily walks around my neighborhood. This has been another goal from my Finch app, to go on a daily walk. And I go on my walks. I try to go a little bit fast so that it is actually cardio, not just me, like, getting some sunlight. Not that you can't do both, but I want to do both. Anyway, so I've been doing that. When I walk fast, I keep getting this urge to like start jogging or something. And if you followed me last year when I was still walking like 20,000 steps a day at my work, you know that I have some pretty severe foot problems as well. And I have super high arches. I get plantar fasciitis, I get Achilles tendonitis, I get metatarsalgia, like all of it. All of the things happen to my feet. So every time I feel like I should jog, I'm like, I don't know if that's actually a smart idea for me because I have a lot of latent foot problems that don't hurt right now, but they're gonna hurt. But anyway, I finally decided this week that I would just download an intermittent running app and just see what happened. And I fully 100% expected that I would take like the first interval of jogging, I was gonna get like maybe 20 steps in and be like, oh, there's sharp shooting pains in the arch of my foot, and just kidding, we're gonna go on a walk. No. And the other fun thing is every couple of years I get it in my head that I could be a runner, and I start running, and I'm on the struggle bus immediately, and within the first, like between the first 2 weeks and the first 4 weeks, I just give up completely because it is too hard. And it's too much, and I'm not having a good time, and I don't see any improvement, and it's not fun. And my feet hurt. So, again, was like, the expectations are pretty low for this. But I went on the first jog, I had a really great time, I felt really good after. And then I was also like, oh my god, I completed the whole first workout, like, without, really hitting the struggle bus, and I was like, that's crazy. And I told my friend about it. We decided we were going to be running buddies. We went on a run together on Thursday, and that one was good. We went like 2 miles. We were like talking the whole time. It was very chill. Like, I finished it and I was like, oh, that was easy. Like, that was not hard. And I don't think I've ever said that about any other time that I've tried to go jogging, just to be like, oh, this was like fine. Like, this is how people who make running videos feel about running, where they're like, oh, it's easy. Like, this is not strenuous. So that's also wild. I'm like excited to go on a run today. Like, you don't understand. I'm like excited. I'm like, oh, like please let the sun come out. I want to go move my body. I want to go do this thing and have a good time and see how I do. And just, it feels really good to have my body in a state where I can like actually do things with it again, because I spent so much time like in, relatively recent history, not having a good time. So I'm really excited about that. And that is my fitness tangent. It is over now. Let's move back into other things that happened this week. We are almost done with this video. I know we're at 50 minutes. I thought it said 40. It says 49. I did not shut the hell up for that, so I'm sorry. I watched The Mandalorian and Grogu movie this week, and I did finally finish catching up on The Mandalorian. It was good. I liked it a lot. It is very entertaining. It does not have a whole lot of substance in terms of like a moral message or something like that. It's just kind of a brain check out action flick that's very funny and comedic. I think that's fine. I know a lot of people are giving it shit. I don't care. I think it's good. I would watch it again. I ordered a shirt with Rod of the Hutt on it. I love him. And I love the Enzellans too. They're so adorable, and I love it. And it's just good. It's a good movie. I will watch it again when it's on streaming. I don't know if that I would pay to go see it again in a theater. But it was good. It was very, very good. Oh, I love The Mandalorian. It's so good. And then the final thing, I also finished a book. It is also Star Wars. It is Rebel Dawn. This is Star Wars Legends. It's the third book in the Han Solo trilogy. This is by A.C. Crispin. And I loved it. It was fine. It was another just kind of like very simple, very chill. The whole trilogy, it goes through Han Solo's backstory, which is fine. But it also, like, the stakes are kind of low at all times. Like, that which characters aren't going to die, obviously. But also, like, even the other characters, it's like they're probably not going to die. Like, it's probably going to be fine. Like, the plot armor is very heavy. Even the dangerous situations don't feel that dangerous. I feel like it's a book that was written both for kids and adults to read, and so because there's kids may or may not be picking up the book, they kind of just like shy away from a lot of things that if it had been an adults only novel, probably they wouldn't have, like character death and some stuff like that. But I liked it overall. It was good. It was entertaining, and I was reading it to be entertained, so it did the job. And yeah, that wraps up the Han Solo trilogy. I doubled back to read The Feast of Sorrow, which is a book about Epicurus, who's the guy who wrote the first ever known cookbook, at least in ancient Rome. There are older like recipe compositions, like Hammurabi had recipes in ancient Sumeria. But Epicurus is the first guy who wrote like an actual full-on cookbook that like you could go buy. So that's very cool. I'm about halfway through that novel. Don't know if I will finish it in the month of May. In a dream world, I would, but in a realistic world, I am probably going to knit all day today and tomorrow to make up for the fact that I'm not going to be knitting much next week. And that means I won't be reading because it's not an audiobook, it's a physical book. And I can only do one thing with my hands. So anyway, that is enough of me blabbering on. I'm so sorry that talking about fitness took so long, but I was excited. I'm really, really, really excited about it. So thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for staying till the end. I hope you have a wonderful and fantastic week or weekend or whatever. And I will talk to you next time. Okay, bye.